Okay, 1-4. Objectives today. We're going to rearrange formulas and equations to highlight a quantity of interest by isolating that variable. Okay, it's the same thing as solving equations. We're also going to use these formulas and equations to solve some word problems. So 1-4, literal equations and formulas. So here's our first example. Janet wants to calculate the time it takes to earn a certain amount of interest on a principal amount in an investment with simple interest. What equation can she use? Okay, so some definitions. A formula is an equation that states a relationship between one quantity and one or more other quantities. Okay, a formula is like an equation, but you don't have numbers. Okay, you've got variables in there. We're going to use the simple interest formula, I equals PRT. Okay, I stands for interest, P stands for principal, R stands for interest rate, T stands for time. Okay, so notice right here, it says we want to calculate the time. So if I have this formula, my goal is to get T by itself. Okay, so our job is to solve for T. The formula I equals PRT is what is known as a literal equations because it has both variables and known constants. Okay, so I equals PRT. How do I get T by itself? Well, the first thing you might want to look at is how are all these variables over here connected? Well, PRT, that's connected by multiplication. How do you undo multiplication? By dividing. So, to get T by itself, I'm just going to divide by the other stuff. And if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other side. Okay, so notice these will cancel. So T equals I over PR. And that is your answer. Okay, here's a problem for you to try. What equation can she use to calculate the principal amount? Again, you're still using I equals PRT. So pause the video and try to figure this one out. Okay, principal, that is P. So I'm going to get P by itself. Again, how are they all connected? By multiplication. How do you undo multiplication? By dividing. So we want P by itself, so let's get rid of the other stuff. Do it to one side, got to do it to the other. Cancel. P equals I over RT. Okay, so let's look at another problem. We can use these equations to solve problems. So in a half hour, Sarah is meeting with her friends at the lake, 6 miles from her house. At what average speed must she ride her bike to get there on time? Okay, so we're looking for speed. So we want to know distance equals rate times time. Speed is the same thing as your rate. So let's solve D equals RT for R. So to get R by itself, how are R and T connected? Through multiplication, so we just divide by T. R equals distance over time. So what's my distance? 6 miles. What's my time? Half an hour. Okay, so 6 divided by a half is equal to 12. She needs to go 12 miles per hour on average. Now, of course, you could have just said D equals RT and plugged stuff in from there. Distance is 6. We don't know rate, so we leave it. T is a half. Okay, and you solve it just like this. Multiply both sides by 2 and still get the same answer. Okay? Sometimes it's easier to solve for the variable you want than plug things in. Okay, you try. Pause the video and try this, please. Okay, Sarah's going to a store 2.5 miles away. She only has 15 minutes to get there before they close. At what average speed must she ride to get to the store before they close? Okay, again, we're going to use D equals RT. Again, I'm looking for my rate. So to get R by itself, divide both sides by T. Okay, so R equals distance over time. So what is my distance? 2.5 miles. My time, okay, 15 minutes. Now, when I think about speed, I always think miles per hour. I don't think miles per minute. So I need to convert this minutes to hours. So think about a clock. 15 minutes is a quarter of an hour. Okay, so this 15 I'm going to replace with 1/4. So now all I need to do is 2.5 divided by 1/4, and I don't have my calculator up, so give me a second. Okay, I want to do 2.5 divided by 1/4. 2.5 divided by, and I'm just going to use the division symbol for my fraction. 2.5 divided by 1/4 equals 10. So she needs to ride at an average speed of 10 miles per hour. Okay, here's another example. A worker at a framing store is making a rectangular frame. He knows the perimeter of the frame is 144 inches and the length is 40 inches. How can I determine the width? Well, let's write the formula for perimeter. Okay, remember perimeter is my outside. Okay, so perimeter equals, here's my width. How many widths do I have? I have 2. And I need to count these 2 sides, so plus 2 lengths. How would I get W by itself? Well, I've got this stuff hanging out with the 2W. So how do I get rid of this plus 2L? Minus 2L. So if I do it to one side, I've got to do it to the other. Now, can I combine like terms here? No, because those aren't like terms. So now I just have P minus 2L is equal to 2W. Is W by itself yet? Nope. Divide by. So we need to divide by 2. And so I got W equals, I'm just going to leave this. This fraction can't be simplified anymore, so I'm just going to leave it as P minus 2L divided by 2. Okay, so now I can plug in what I know. Okay, I know my perimeter. So perimeter is 144. So W equals, instead of perimeter, I'm going to write 144 minus 2. Do I know anything about the length? Oh, the length is 40. I can plug in 40 for L and divide all of that by 2. Order of operations, we got to do our multiplication first. So W equals 144 minus 80 all over 2. W equals 144 minus 80 is 64 over 2, which equals 32. So the width of my painting is 32 inches. Yep, 32 inches. And of course, I would have just plugged and chugged from the beginning, but we want to focus on rewriting. Okay, your turn. Write the formula for the area of a triangle, A equals 1/2 base times height, in terms of H. Find the height of the triangle when A equals 18 inches squared and B equals 9 inches. Okay, so 2 things here. First, you need to solve for H, then you can plug things in. Okay, please pause and try. Okay, so to solve for H, A equals 1/2 BH. I see the fraction first, so I want to get rid of that. How do I get rid of multiplying by 1/2? I can either divide by 1/2 or times by 2. So let's multiply both sides by 2. So 2A equals BH. Okay, I want to get H by itself, so B is hanging out with the H. How are they connected? Through multiplication, so we just need to undo the multiplication by division. So the height is equal to 2 times the area divided by the base. Okay, now I can take this information and plug and chug. So H equals 2 times, instead of writing A, I'm going to write 18. And instead of writing B, I'm going to write 9. So H equals 2 times 18 is 36, divided by 9 is 4. So the height of my triangle is 4 inches. Okay, here's another one, another example. Okay, according to Teo's bread recipe, he should bake the bread at 190 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. His oven measures temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. So what temperature in Fahrenheit should he set his oven? Okay, so I have this equation right here. C equals 5/9 times the quantity F minus 32. We want to get it to F equals. So let's see what we have. C equals 5/9 times F minus 32. Okay, our job again is to get F by itself. So first thing, I want to get rid of this fraction. So we're just going to multiply by the reciprocal. So times 9/5. So now I have 9/5 C equals F minus 32. Is F by itself yet? Nope, not quite yet. So how do I get rid of this minus 32? Add 32. So now my equation is 9/5 C plus 32 is equal to my degrees Fahrenheit. So now is where I can plug and chug. I know it's 190 degrees Celsius. So instead of writing C, I'm going to write 190. So 9/5. Oh, I don't know why that just did that. Let's try that again. 9/5. Instead of C, we're going to write 190 plus 32 equals my degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so let's throw this in the calculator. 9/5 times 190 plus 32. We get 374. Okay, so think about your oven. Does it make sense to bake cookies or whatever at 374? Yeah, I think 375, close enough. You're going to lose a little bit in that translation between the two measurements. Okay, so absolutely makes sense to bake something at that temperature. Okay, your turn. Again, you're using the formula C equals 5 ninths times F minus 32. Okay, you want to change it to degrees Celsius. Okay, so we have degrees Fahrenheit, you need to do degrees Celsius. Okay, so this one's super easy, plug and chug. I already know it's degrees C, that's what I have. So C equals 5 ninths. Instead of writing Fahrenheit, I'm going to write 5. 5 minus 32. So just solving right here, okay? Order of operations, parentheses first. 5 minus 32 is negative 27. So now in the calculator, 5 ninths times negative 27. So 5 ninths times negative 27. Negative 15 degrees. Okay, so if it's about 5 degrees Fahrenheit outside, it's negative 15 in Celsius. Okay, and that's it for the lesson. Homework tonight, page 28. You're going to do problems 13 through 23 odd, 26 through 29. Please come with questions.